Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Let's study the new topic of your 11th physics, chapter number 10. Name of the topic is electrostatics. Before this topic, you all have studied the topic current electricity. Current electricity means what? Current electricity is nothing but the study of moving charges, or study of moving charges is also called as electrodynamic. Dynamic means motion. Electro means charge. Means when you study the charges in motion, that study is called as electrodynamic, or it is also called as current electricity. Similarly, let us concentrate to our topic, which is named as electrostatics. Static means what? Static means stationary, in a state of rest, and electro means charge. So here electrostatic, meaning of this electrostatic would become study of stationary charges, or study of those charges which are there in a state of rest. We will come to the example of this stationary charges, but let us just define the term electrostatics over here. Let's go through the introduction of it. The branch of physics which deals with the study of stationary charges is called as electrostatics. Electro means charge. You might have experienced various things in our daily day-to-day life. Let's count it. You might have experienced shock while getting up from plastic chair. Why we are experiencing such type of shocks? Similarly, you might have heard a crackling sound while removing sweater in winter season. And also the cloth gets stuck to our body in a winter season. And when we try to remove it, we are hearing a crackling sound. Why such thing happens? It shows the presence of charge on the cloth, on the chair, which are non-conducting medium. Then you might have seen lightning striking during pre-monsoon. Thunderstorm you can see. It is also an example of electrostatics, means the charges which are there in a state of rest. Similarly, student, you might have played this event where you might have rubbed your plastic scale that we are using for measurement. You might have rubbed your plastic scale with the dry hair, and if some pieces of paper, when it is placed close to this plastic scale, what is going to happen? All the pieces of paper will stuck to the plastic scale. It means what? There are charges on the paper as well on the plastic scale. What does it mean? When you rub it with your dry hair, the charges which are there on your hair, which were there in a state of rest, when you rub it, all the charges will get transferred to the plastic scale, and these charges will be attracted by the piece of paper which you place it near the plastic scale. So it shows the presence of charges. We all know that charges are everywhere around us. So when we feel their presence, with these experience we feel their presence. So when we study such charges, it means what we are doing? We are studying electrostatics. Generally, there are only two types of charges, positive and negative. You might have studied the structure of atom as well. You all know that atom is a basic component of any element. Even the smallest particle of an element is called as atom. Even this atom is not so smallest, It is also having three elementary particles. These particles are called as electron, proton and neutron. You might have studied about these charges. Electron means what? These are the negative charges revolving around the nucleus. And what is nucleus? We all know that atom is made up of positively charged nucleus and negatively charged electrons are revolving around it. So electrons are supposed to be considered as negatively charged, and this nucleus, it is filled with two types of charge, two types of particle. One is neutron and the second one is proton. Neutron is electrically neutral, it is not having any charge, and proton is positively charged. So these positive and negative charge of nucleus, that is why this nucleus is positive in nature. So this, because of the presence of protons, so this positive protons and negative electron will make the atom electrically neutral. You might have studied about it, about these charges. Similarly, in the last chapter, or in the chapter of electrodynamics, just like current electricity, you all have studied the motion of these charges. Motion of these charges means when the electrons are supposed to be moving from the conductor, they constitute a current. This is called as, study of current is called as current electricity, or it is also called as electrodynamic. You will have studied about this motion of negative charges which are moving through the conductors. So we are not totally unaware of this term electrostatics. We feel their presence of the charges and we have studied about the motion of the charges as well. So this topic will not be so difficult for us to understand because we know various things about them. So basically there are only two types of charges, positive and negative. And few things about the charges also known to you, that two like charges always repel each other and two unlike charges always attract each other, just like the two pole pieces of a bar magnet. You might have seen North Pole and South Pole. Just like this North Pole and South Pole, there are charges negative and positive. So when North Pole comes together, they will repel each other. When North-South pole comes together, they will attract each other. In the same way, when two opposite charge will attract each other and two similar charges will repel each other. Means two negative charges are going to repel each other, two positive charges are going to repel each other, while positive and negative charges are going to attract each other. This fact we know about the charges. So let us quickly study the basic properties of these charges, as we have seen the various example of the electrostatics. So let's see what are the types of the charges. We all know there are only two types of charges, positive and negative. So let's see the nature of the charges, and nature of charges is not supposed to be studied over here. We have to go for the basic properties of electric charges here. What are the properties they own? So what are the basic properties of the charges? Here we are going to study only two properties. Rest of the properties will be studied in the next lecture. Very first one is additive nature of charges. You might have studied about the law of conservation of mass. If not, if there is a mass of 1 kg, if there is a mass of 1 kg, then this 1 kg mass is made up of number of small particles which are having small masses. When you add the small masses together, you are going to get 1 kg, total mass as 1 kg. So This is called as additive property of masses. To find out the total mass of the object, you need to sum up all those particles which are contributing the mass, entire mass over here. So you'll have to add the individual particles, mass of the individual particles over here to get the total mass of the object. So this is called as additive property of mass, and that we know it. And what about the additive nature of charges? Suppose there is one sheet of paper and there are 5 positive charge. There are 5 positive charge and 2 negative charges. Then total charge on this sheet of paper will be 5 plus 2 is 7. But it is not like this, because the two charges are not of the same nature. They are having the opposite nature. How you are going to add it? Obviously, to find out the total charge, you need to add these charges. Let us find out the total charge. Total charge is equal to plus 5 plus 2 is negative here, minus 2. 5 plus minus will become minus 2. Total charge will become 3. So just like the masses, charges are also added, but here total charge on an object may be positive, may be negative. Suppose if this 5 is negative and 2 is positive. Suppose this 5 charges are negative and 2 charges are positive. Then the total charge on this sheet of the paper will be minus 3. So total number of charges will be minus 3. So total may be positive and it may be negative. But you should remember that total of these individual particles, in case of a mass, this additive nature is going to give rise only positive number. While in case of a charges, the total charge on an object may be positive, it may be negative. So what you have done, student, over here? Here you have added all the charges present on the object, whether they are positive and whether they are negative. In order to calculate the total charges, you have to indicate their sign as well, positive as well as negative, to find out the total number. Or these total charges may be positive, may be negative, depending on the nature of the charges. While in case of a mass, total mass will always be positive. Now let's study the another property of electric charge, quantization of charge. What does it mean? Quantized. Quanta means what? Packet. Students, you might have studied about two types of charges, two basic charges, electron and proton. So when we talk about the charges present on any object, do we say that there is one electron present and one proton is present? No, we don't say like this. Discrete nature of the charge we don't get. But we are getting the bulk, number of charges, may be positive, may be negative. Means number of electron, not only, means we are not going to have only one electron. There will be a number of electron on the this sheet of a paper. Similarly, if you consider a conductor, conductor means it is the element which conduct the electricity, which are rich in the number of electron. So we are getting these charges in the form of packet, quantized. So these charges are in the form of packet, and we all know that this thing, you should know that charge on one electron, you might have studied this, charge on one electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Yeah, 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 C. This C is stand for coulomb, that we will study later on. This is the unit of charge. So charge on one electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. This is the charge on one electron. But generally on any object, only one electron is not present. There will be a bulk of electron or bulk of a positive charges or bulk of a negative charges. So these charges are written in terms of a letter, say Q. And this Q may be a number of electron, it may be a number of proton. So it is generally written in terms of integral multiple of electron, Ne. This is called as quantization of charges. So generally we are having quantized charge, individual or discrete charge distribution is not possible. Individual charge we are not going to get. We will get the charges in the form of bulk in the integral multiple of this charge of one electron. So this is called as quantization of charge. For example, whenever a glass rod is rubbed with the silk material, we know that when we rub two material, we will get that some of the charges from one object will get transferred to the another. Electron from one object get transferred to the another object. So from the place from where the electrons are transferred, that will become positively charged, and the place on which the electrons has transferred, that will become negatively charged. So only one or two electrons are not possible. There will be a bulk of electron, and this bulk of electrons is called as quantized charge. So that is why charges are always written in terms of integral multiple of E, where E is the charge of one electron. So let us consider one example. When the glass rod is rubbed with a silk material, the charge which is obtained on a glass rod is about 1 microcoulomb. How many charges are transferred? It is of the order of 1 microcoulomb. Micro is nothing but 10 raised to minus 6. Just like milli is 10 raised to minus 3, micro is 10 raised to minus 6. So 10 raised to minus 6 charges are transferred from one place to another place whenever the glass rod is rubbed with silk material. So 10 raised to minus 6 electrons are transferred. 10 raised to minus 6 protons are transferred, you can say. So how you are going to find out? We all know that charge on one electron is this one. And how many charges have been transferred or have developed on the glass rod? It is 10 raised to minus 6. So how you are going to find out the number of charges transferred from glass to silk? In order to find out the number of charges N which are transferred from glass to silk, this N, obviously it will become 10 raised to minus 6. What is the value of one charge? It is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. So this ratio comes out to be equal to 6.25 into 10 raised to 12 coulomb. Such a high amount of charge is transferred. This is called as quantized charge. Discrete charge distribution is not possible. So here you can say that there is a continuous charge distribution, means you cannot distinguish between one electron to the another electron. So this is called as quantization of charge and additive nature. Here we have completed the two properties. Let us solve one example on this quantization of charge. Example number 10.1. See the statement of this example. How much positive and negative charge is present in 1 gram of water? 1 gram of water How many electrons are present in it? Given molecular mass of water is 18 gram. You'll have to find out the total number of how many positive and negative charges which are present in water in 1 gram of water. And molecular weight of the molecular mass of water is given, it is 18 gram. So let us list out the given thing. Molecular weight of water is given, it is 18 gram. So number of molecule in 18 gram is 6.02 into 10 raised to 23. We all know that this is the Avogadro number. Then number of molecule in 1 gram is, in 18 gram it is 6.02. In 1 gram, so obviously you'll have to divide it by 18. So 6.02 into 10 raised to 23 divided by 18. These are the number of molecule in 1 gram of water. Then what we have to do, total positive and negative charge. So means number of electrons in H2O. You all know that there are 2 electrons in hydrogen and 8 electrons in oxygen. So 2 plus 8 is 10. Total 10 electrons are there. So number of electron in 1 gram of H2, number of molecule is this one. In 1 gram of H2O is, you'll have to multiply it with that number of electron in 1 H2O. So here we have multiplied it and we will get this number 3.34 into 10 raised to 23. Then the total positive charges. Total positive charges, obviously you'll have to multiply this number of electrons in 1 gram of H2O with the charge of 1 electron. These many electrons are present, but charge of 1 electron, you'll have to multiply it. So here we have multiplied it with 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 and we will get the answer 5.35 into 10 raised to 4 coulomb. These are the total positive charge, and obviously total positive charge and total negative charge will be exactly equal. It will make the water H2O electrically neutral. So hope you'll have understood the topic. Thank you.